something.
And then with them, they're both male. So he's trying to show his little dominance. At some point, he probably start doing a little head.
So he's younger than...
No, he's a little older.
He's older.
Yeah, he's
okay.
on the small.
All right, wait. Player. There we go.
So you don't want to know? You wouldn't want to know.
So here's the thing. He's saying just a list. Then he adds like, well, if you sleep with my homeboy, well, if you're with someone who is respectful to you and knows you, she's probably going to let you know that.
Well, he got weird saying the whole list. I don't want to know everybody.
Oh, no, he wanted to know everybody. He said he wanted to know everybody.
I don't need to know that.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts now.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. So, Keyshawn, I have to tell you something. We talked about this briefly, so I'm having a bit of a dilemma right now.
Okay.
So, before this, about 10 minutes ago or so, I went ahead and went to the restroom, making sure that I'd be ready for this. And I was looking in the mirror.
Okay.
Look at this. You see that right there? You see them grays popping through? And then I had some grays right in here. You can't see on camera. The reason why I'm like so frazzled about this is because I literally dyed my hair and my beard 2 weeks ago.
You did.
These gray hairs are potent.
Don't fight it. You can't fight it.
Listen, I'm gonna be looking
Matt,
like
you get old. Embrace it. Love it.
And you know, my birthday is in just
A couple
2 weeks
weeks,
tomorrow.
right?
I'm gonna be hitting 39. And I'm graying. I'm going to be looking like Anderson Cooper soon. Hopefully, I can pull it off.
Anderson Cooper, like he's fine. They love Anderson.
Exactly.
Embrace it like Anderson. Anderson, I think he was great in his 20s.
He was. No, it's hysterical. So, enough about that. But how was your week? How'd everything go this week?
I had a good week. It was good to be back in Houston. I was in New York for the last 2 weeks. Good to have some normalcy and good to be with you guys. Sometimes when things are a lot, you just need you guys.
Exactly. Right there. No, and I appreciate it. It's always so good seeing you. And I'm just glad, like I said, I'm glad it's Friday. This weekend's going to have a lot of things going on, including the Pride Parade here in Houston.
Yes,
yep.
Okay, Matt. So we're going to talk about Pride later in the show, but are you going back out to Pride? Are you? Because I know the storm. I know it was.
Yeah. So no, it was a lot. So what's interesting, and I know we'll talk about this, like you said, in a few minutes. But so they're not redoing the festival.
Oh.
They're just going to be doing the parade. So because they had the festival in June, but it got. I mean, it was. If you were out there, if anybody was out there, it was torrential downpouring outside. The weather was trash. I have videos, and there was literally like the water was higher than my shoes were. Like it was crazy, like so crazy. But it is what it is. Also, we got some of our loyal viewers. So Sassy said, "Good evening, everybody. Hello from Chicago."
Hey, Chicago.
Hey, Sassy. We love to see Sassy. Also, I got a bone to pick with you. Where were you yesterday? I was looking for you yesterday and did not see you in the comments. We were like,
"Where's Sassy?"
Where's Sassy. And then we got Jack saying, "Welcome back." Hello. And then Jack said, "Hey, Sassy." See, look, Jack's missed you too.
I miss you too, Jax. I miss you too.
And then
two-man crew. It's a two-man crew today. Everyone's off.
And then
we're the only ones at work today.
We're holding it down. Barely holding it down. No, I'm just kidding. You know what's so funny is it's like when it comes down to Keyshawn and myself, this is like we get along like this even outside of this.
This is how we
we sit here, we give each other shit, and then we keep it moving, and it's always a good time. Like this is a good team. This is a good team.
Yes.
So, but all right, well, everybody, thanks for joining. Make sure you guys like the video. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you like it, subscribe, turn on those notifications, do all that fun stuff. Sassy. Okay, let's see. Sassy said, "Oh, Matt, I was helping out some friends after a big storm came through on Wednesday." You know what, Sassy? It's funny that, not funny, but like funny you say that because I think that may have been one of the same storm systems that went through central Ohio. So I'm from Columbus, and they got hit by a tornado out there as well. And I remember it was around the same time that Chicago got hit really bad. So, so, well, hopefully everybody's okay out there, Sassy. I hope that you guys are all safe and the cleanup wasn't too crazy. So,
thank you.
But so, all right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and get on to some of the news that's happening. We have a big story that just broke on the Fox Local app. So if you don't have the Fox Local app, make sure you download it on your phone. So this is impacting the state of Texas. So Governor Greg Abbott has ordered a review of Houston and Dallas airports over Muslim facilities. So the review is over all state grants issued to Texas airports, including Houston's Bush Intercontinental, over what his office calls potential, quote, illegal religious discrimination. So the big issue here, it's about the Islamic foot washing stations planned for Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport and also a facility and prayer room at Bush. Abbott says it's stocked with Qurans, prayer rugs, prayer beads, and a turba, I believe is what it's called. Abbott says the facilities, quote, single out one subset of the population for special treatment based on religion. He also argues that both airports are government owned, so state and federal constitutions bar it. His words coming from Greg Abbott, Governor Greg Abbott, saying that it is illegal. And also, furthermore, with this, the review could also claw back current state funding and block future funding for the airports. He's also asked U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy to open a federal review and, quote, take appropriate corrective action. So far, letters have went out to DFW CEO Chris McLaughlin and the mayors of Houston, Dallas, and Fort Worth. And also, just a little bit more, Fox 26 Houston, we have also reached out to the Houston Airport Systems for comments. And again, this was something that just came out. I mean, it just came out a little bit ago. We just pushed it out right before the start of the show. So I mean, this is something that's really been in the news, I feel like, a lot here lately, especially coming from the governor's office. It's I'm not going to comment on it. I have a lot of thoughts with it, but I'm not going to comment.
Just move on.
Just move on. So, but and then even so Jack said, wow, he is really hard on Muslims and worried about Sharia law. And I will say this much, the one thing that is really, I'm gonna say, unfortunate with this, the city of Houston is one of the most, if not the most diverse city in the country. So, and for me, I've always been big on, if I don't like it, I don't participate in it. And I also just mind my business. So I think that everybody should have a safe space. I don't care what your religion or anything like that is. So that's as much as I'm going to say about that. So with that said, the next thing that's a really big talker right now, and this is not just impacting Texas, this is across the country. It's those damn flock cameras. And love them or hate them, there's a lot of people who are really just not for it. So earlier tonight, Fox 26 anchor Rashi Vatz, she was talking about it, and she has some breaking news earlier today. So we'll go ahead and play that clip.
All right, now let's talk about flock cameras. They've been a huge talker, and we actually have some breaking news about them. So Harris County Sheriff's Office just announced that 3 deputies have had their flock access suspended. This is following allegations of questionable abuse. Also, Deer Park Police, they're facing substantial disciplinary action. This one officer for misusing their department's system. So joining us right now to discuss this is Andy Kahn with Crime Stoppers. Andy, first off, I was going to ask you, when you find out about law enforcement abusing possibly the flock camera system and using it to their own personal use, how does that make you feel?
It's extremely troublesome. And for one thing, law enforcement officers who are abusing flock cameras, I do believe the legislators need to take a good hard look at this in this upcoming legislative session and look at whether they need to craft specific statutes where they are criminally charged if they misuse that information in a flock camera. And they should be prosecuted, if so, to the fullest extent of the law. And that message needs to get out to every law enforcement officer in the country that if you misuse this information, you will be criminally charged, you will lose your license, and your life will be ruined.
And it really is so easy for them to be able to access this information, right?
Yeah, I absolutely. And I keep seeing case after case after case, and we just saw 3 more cases right here. And I'm going, you're ruining something that is so beneficial for crime victims who are crying for anything tangible that can help solve their cases. And I'll give you a great example. We had 2 very high-profile road rage killings. Cody Johnson almost 2 years ago in September of 24, Louise Wilson in 2023. Those families would give anything if there were flock cameras alongside the highways where their loved ones were killed. That could possibly help solve these cases. And we've seen flock cameras solve case after case after case. Just in California, last month, they were able to pull over a kidnapping suspect, take the kidnapping suspect into custody, and save that victim from God knows what would have happened to her as well. We've seen it in Houston, where the license plate readers are able to get stolen vehicles. We've seen them be able to track armed robbery gangs that go through different counties. There are so many good uses for this technology, and it's disheartening to see it being spoiled by a few law enforcement officers that are bad apples.
And one of the other things I was going to bring up is you could use flock cameras and the information in the aftermath of, an investigation, but I've seen it also used in chases where police are getting the information in real time. So talk about that.
It's real life situations. So let's just dumb it down on porch pirates, for example. Someone takes, you might have your little camera that shows it, but you don't see where the person's speeding off on it. Flock cameras were able to get that in real life fashion. Particularly, one of the biggest assets is for missing persons, Amber Alerts. They're able to generate an instant notification for all law enforcement, an APB alert, when they have that information readily handed to them. And that's the benefits of flood. They've solved thousands of crimes. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at one particular auto theft guy, and he was stating, you know what, this is changing me, because now I know when I steal a car, I'm on camera. I'm on full view. And that's a detriment to my lifestyle of stealing cars. That's a positive benefit.
It just seems like there's so many more benefits that have been proven, even also being a deterrent, like you were just explaining there.
There are, and again, these cases that you're seeing, particularly with law enforcement, that kind of makes the public angry. And I get it, because I get angry when I see misuse of information that I know is so beneficial to victims of a crime. And I do think we have to look at this upcoming session to send a message out that if law enforcement officers are misusing, which we are seeing right now, that you will be criminally charged.
Now, we have 3 cases here that we just recently know about. Do you think that there's actually many more we just haven't discovered?
Oh, it's just like any other crime. Yeah, I mean, this is just what you know about. It's just like in any other crime. We know that this was committed. We just don't know how many more. So obviously, yes. But I also think that perhaps they felt like they could go undeterred, that no one would stop them. I do think some of the technology that's coming out with the flock cameras, where you have to code in before you can actually look at the images, a specific case that you're looking on. I think that will make a tremendous difference, because now you have to actually document why you're looking at a specific photo or looking at different images as well. I think that will make a tremendous difference and certainly deter law enforcement from using it for nefarious behavior.
So I guess so right now, any law enforcement can just see any...
It appears that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just some of the criticism, and I wanted your response to it with flock cameras, one being that citizens may believe this is infringing on their privacy and their rights. What would you say to them?
I believe the good of the many, which is the law-abiding public for the most part, outweigh any privacy concerns on that. And I just think if it's used properly, then we don't have any worries. Right now, unfortunately, it's like the wild, wild west with flock cameras, because all of a sudden all this stuff just got put together and there's no rules, regulations, or anybody that's actually watching who's watching the flock cameras, and that's got to change.
Is there anything that the sheriff's department or any law enforcement agency can do right now to try to oversee the use of flock cameras when it comes to the law enforcement?
You know, I think they have to look at their internal policy of usage. I mean, anything. I mean, if I was in law enforcement right now, I would mandate anybody that's going to be looking at footage, looking at photographic evidence from a flock camera, that they specifically document exactly what case, and therefore someone in a higher up can say, let me make sure that's what this information is actually going to be used for.
All right, got it. All right, thank you. Andy Kahn, live with us with Crime Stoppers. Thanks for giving your insight.
You bet.
All righty, so that was a little bit earlier. That was with Rashi Vats, and then also Andy Kahn with Crime Stoppers of Houston. So, you know, it's really interesting. And before we get to some of the comments here, I was looking up on Fox, different Fox affiliates across the country, and let's see, about a week ago or so, out of Knox County, Tennessee. So their Republican county mayor, his name's Glenn Jacobs. He's actually called for a nationwide pause in the deployment of flock surveillance cameras. He's arguing that the technology raises constitutional privacy and safety concerns and lacks sufficient safeguards. And then up in Michigan, Fox 2, our sister station up there, says Michigan lawmakers push reforms amid alleged police misuse of flock cameras, which kind of goes back to what they were just talking about with here in the Houston area as well. And, you know, and it's interesting, too, because we've done many stories about the flock cameras. And I'll say the one thing to me, I guess the flock cameras, I didn't really think too much about it until it was really in the news, probably like a lot of people, because the way I look at it is most people have doorbell cameras. And there's a lot of, like, for me, I have a doorbell camera and I have cameras inside of my place that I live in. And I know a lot of people do. So it's just kind of like, I guess I see the pros and the cons to everything. But
so the issue isn't the technology, it's more of the misuse of the technology. And I don't think there's regulations yet on you know, some officers and some law officials are just logging in and checking in on their sneaky link. Like, basically, they're not using it for the purpose. So you know, it's a privacy concern. Like you're just using it freely and not to actually solve crimes, just to check in and see where Matt Horn is at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, and I'm going to tell you this much: at 3 o'clock in the morning or at any other time of the day, I could tell you about the 3 different places I'll be. It's either 1, walking the dogs, 2, at work, or 3, my ass in the bed.
Would you have an issue if this is in your neighborhood? If the flock cameras are, they probably are in your neighborhood already, and you probably don't know. But would you have an issue with it?
Me personally, no, not really. But again, that goes back to the simple fact of I look at so many people who already have the doorbell cameras and things like that, and it's like a lot of people can record those things, and I get the misuse point of it. But I also look at, like, one of my neighbors, really cool person, but on the utility pole that they have in front of their place, they have, I don't know if it's a Ring camera, Blink camera. I don't know what the brand is, but it's some type of camera, and it's literally over to the sidewalk.
Well, I don't like that.
I mean, I'll say this much. It's kind of twofold for me, because the neighborhood, and we've talked about this before. So I live in the Montrose neighborhood of the city, and not even just that neighborhood, but across the entire city, I feel like there's a lot of car break-ins and things of that nature. So, like, even in my area, like, it doesn't really bother me, because I'm hoping it's going to deter people from breaking into people's cars and smashing out windows, so on and so forth. But it's, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of on the fence about it. It doesn't really bother me, but I'm also not out there doing anything that I'm really too concerned about either. So I'm like, the worst you're going to catch me is me stumbling home after a night out on the town or something like that. But I'm walking home and I'm not doing anything that's going to get me in trouble.
You're not doing anything crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Or criminal.
Criminal, exactly. Crazy, maybe. Criminal.
Criminal. That's what criminal.
So let's go ahead and get to some of these comments. I know that this raised quite a few comments. So Keyshawn, I'll let you read through them, because I got some answers.
Sassy says people are destroying them. I get the reason, though. I didn't pay pay attention until the allegations of law enforcement abusing their access to them. And that's what I was saying. Like people, law enforcement, they're abusing, they're logging in the system, just casually, just to see where people are doing.
And and it's kind of interesting to me now that you read that comment. The thing that kind of is interesting to me, and I get that law enforcement, they have a duty to keep the community safe, this and the other, and misuse is a big deal with that, and I get that 100%. But I almost look at it like, do you give the master key to everybody? And by that I'm being metaphorically speaking, because I'm like, or should it just be the lieutenants or the command or whoever it may be? Like, is it more of a hierarchy on who actually should get access to these cameras?
And I think that's the question. I think that's, they need to have some type of rules, like only this person or only the lieutenant or have access to this. And they need to be able to clock who logs in the system. And maybe rookie cops or any cops won't just be logging in just to log in and find out people's business.
Absolutely.
And also the vandalism is a thing. I heard that a lot. We reported that people are cutting the poles down, taking matters into their own hands.
They're saying, "Get this the hell out of here."
Yes, I get it. Listen, they're sensitive about their privacy.
Absolutely.
So Harshal says this has got to stop. The world is so cold nowadays. I agree.
And and I saw also that Sassy and I know Sassy had asked about the cost of the camera, so I looked it up when she had, and Jax as well. So according to, I Googled this, so I mean, it obviously fluctuates between the window that it has, but it says that the standard Flock Safety Falcon license plate reader costs $2,500 to $3,000 per camera per year, plus a one-time initial installation and permitting fee ranging from $250 to $650 per camera. So then a little bit down, it broke it down by product tier. So then it has another type of Flock camera, which is roughly about $5,000 a year. Another one is about $3,000 a year. And then another one that says the Flock Raven audio / gunshot detection is about $12,000 to $35,000 or $35,000 per year, depending on the detection range. So, and that's something else too. So the Flock cameras, or I don't know if it's a Flock camera or something different. I mean, I've heard of the gunshot cameras or gunshot things for years.
Yeah. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, that's been a thing for years.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me see what else. And then Sassy also said, Jax, interestingly, it may deter for criminal activity. The only thing so far it catches is nature's critters doing their thing. And Jax, no problem. I was curious about it when it was put in the comments as well. So definitely, I mean, it's going to be a talker. And I think that at the end of the day, I think whether it's cameras, I think it's whether or not somebody thinks Big Brother's watching them or what have you, I think it always raises the concern for people, because I think people are just really unsure whether it's through their phones. Because I mean, how many times, speaking of cameras, like when people will be like, oh, is my phone watching me? Or is my computer watching me when I have the cameras off? Like even our cameras.
Say it, Matt.
Sorry, I was gonna say, even like the webcam I have on my computer, like I'm gonna shut it right now, but like we have like the little lens that closes right there, and I keep that thing closed when I'm not on camera. Like keep that thing closed all day long. Not that I'm doing anything bad in my office. I just want people watching me.
Right. I think that sometimes my phone is listening to me, because I'll have a conversation about, oh, I need a new energy company. Every ad is energy companies now. So I feel like they're listening to me.
Oh, and it's funny you say that, because now that you said that, I'm sure that both my work and my personal phone will have that popping up as soon as I leave here to go home. It'll be like, are you paying too much for electricity? Switch to insert whatever company here. So
they're listening.
Oh my gosh. All right. So speaking of electricity, we know that people's electricity is going to be running high this weekend because it is supposed to be hot as hell outside.
It is.
So I was looking at the forecast, and tomorrow's actual temperature is supposed to be 97-ish degrees. And in Houston, that means it's going to feel like 150 degrees outside because, and I said 150 and not 115, although I'm being dramatic and I know I am, but it's going to be hot outside. And so tomorrow is going to be the rescheduled Pride Festival or Pride Parade, I'm sorry, in the city of Houston. So earlier this afternoon, I had a chance to talk with one of the volunteers who's been a part of Pride Houston 365 for quite a while. And he said that a lot of people are going to be out there getting ready for tomorrow and to make sure that you're prepared. So let's go ahead and listen to what Jack had to say.
Yes, Jack.
Tonight is Jack Valinsky. And Jack, you are a volunteer with Pride Houston 365. Thank you for joining me for starters.
Absolutely.
Take me through. So this weekend is going to be a big event. The 48th annual Pride Houston celebration is taking place tomorrow. So what can people look forward to?
Well, this is one of the largest, if not the largest, parade in Houston. And what we like to stress at the Pride Parade, that it's a lot of fun. We know it's going to be hot. We have water stands out there, free water. We have, everything we want to do, make sure you're okay being out in the hot weather. It's not supposed to rain. And all of your meteorologists told us it's not going to rain. So hopefully it'll be a great day, be hot. But the wonderful thing about the Pride Parade is all the different contingents. I mean, yes, there's corporate sponsors, but there also are the volunteers. And, we've had some tough years recently in our community dealing with equality. But this day is where we thank our community and thank Houston in general. And we want to have a great celebration.
Awesome. And Jack, I mean, take me through some of the basic things that people need to know about. What time should people show up? And what time is everything actually really kicking off tomorrow?
So we had the festival earlier this year when the parade was supposed to happen, but it rained out. First time ever for the Houston Pride Parade. But so we're having it today, so there will be no festival. There will be some stuff around there for people to have refreshments and things. But basically, the parade will start around 7 o'clock and hopefully on time. And then it's going to be a great celebration. But number one, we all know it's Houston. We know it's summer. It's going to be hot, so be prepared. The good thing is that downtown does have some shade. There's places to be. What's really neat, too, about having a downtown parade, because I go back to when we used to have it in Montrose. And the downtown parade, we got these high garages where people can watch from way up high. And that's really neat. And the fact that there are so many people out there watching it, a couple deep. But parking, you got to, realize you're downtown on a Saturday, so not every parking garage is open. And there's a great option. For $1.25, you can get on Metro. And that's the cheapest mass transit in the entire country. And we work with Metro. So it's an honor to have them in our parade, just like all the other media outlets and all the other corporations and our community organizations.
Yeah, and I know that we're planning on streaming it here on Fox Local as well during the parade. So that's going to be something that we're always excited about seeing and everything like that. So I guess with it being, well, for starters, you guys already moved the parade and the festival a few weeks earlier this year because of the FIFA World Cup. And now it's obviously being moved to a couple months later because of, like you just mentioned, the rain. How has it been with people trying to make sure that people are aware that the parade is actually happening tomorrow on August 15th?
Well, thank you for you all interviewing us and all the other media in Houston. And, Pride is also involved in the Banner Project. So we got an awful lot of media on that aspect, and we hope to have banners up within a couple of weeks. Dealing with bureaucracy sometimes takes time, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So yes, hopefully people will know. And it's amazing though. I've been doing this for a long time, and how people just show up. It's like there's nobody there about a half hour before, but as soon as the parade's ready to start, all these people swarm to see it.
And, I've been in Houston since December of 2021. And then I was up in Dallas for a year, came back down to Houston after that. And the Pride Parade in Houston is always a really good time. It's a good time. There's always a lot of people. And I think the thing for me is just seeing how diverse the community is who comes out to support the parade.
Absolutely. That's the neat thing about it, is that and it took us a long time to build this up that everybody was accepting. You know, it took us a while to get the mayor in the parade. And we're not talking about this mayor, mayors past. And it took us a long time to see the accepted, like HPD and the firefighters. And now we're just this happy organization that is accepting of everybody.
Very cool. And now when I was talking to Carrie Ann, she said that you have some announcements or some new updates or something like that for tomorrow as well. What is she talking about?
Actually, it's a secret to me. It's a secret to me. So I will be finding out just as you all find out.
Perfect.
Yes.
No, well, and I'll tell you this much too. You know, the one thing I know a lot of people, after it was rained out in June, a lot of people are like, is it actually going to get rescheduled? What's going to actually happen and stuff like that. So a lot of people I know are excited about the parade tomorrow. And I think let's go ahead and hit one more time the basics. So people need to make sure they're hydrated when they come out. And they should be expecting the parade to start off at 7 o'clock. And is it the same as last year where it starts off on Allen Parkway and then goes through downtown?
Well, basically the lineup is on Allen Parkway.
Okay.
And then it starts basically in front of City Hall, and it turns on Walker, and it then goes down Milam.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, cool. Is there anything else you want to add, Jack?
No, just come on out. If you can't come out, you can watch the stream. And I thank Fox 26 for being able to provide that for us. And, you know, we do this as a celebration of our community for everybody here in Houston.
Absolutely. All right, Jack, I appreciate it. Well, good luck tomorrow. Make sure you, like everybody else, you better make sure you stay hydrated out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. So it's always a fun time.
Sounds
Always
like a fun time. Yeah.
And you haven't been to the Pride Parade in Houston. Keyshawn, I'm gonna tell you this much. It's so funny because so I mean, selfishly, I wish that the Pride Parade went through the neighborhood. I really do. I think that would be cool. But I mean, the Pride Parade here is massive. It's a massive parade. I think that they average like a few 100,000 people. And then so just kind of recapping everything. So tomorrow is actually the 48th annual parade. So the parade steps off at 7 p.m. Saturday, August 15th. And I know that he said that if it starts on time, let's be honest, every Pride Parade I've gone to, Houston or another city, they never start on time. And then, but no, they're usually pretty close to it. It's always a fun start. Step off point over by City Hall, ends over at Milam and Peace. Stage and grandstand open at 5 p.m. In downtown, and it's free. One of the things to mention is that they have some bars out there too. So I think that the bars, I think I read it said that those bars might have air conditioning or cooling centers or something. I hope
they have AC. I hope the bars have AC.
So you know what's funny is I was talking to one of my friends earlier, and I said we're talking about going to Pride tomorrow, and I said I'm either going to be outside wearing my short shorts or I'm going to be outside in basketball shorts because I don't know what I can fit into right now. And B, it's going to be so hot outside. It's going to be very hot.
So stay hydrated, everyone. Don't pass out. Please don't pass out.
Exactly.
That's not sexy.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. And don't pass out because I'm not going to be able to pass out looking good. And Jax mentioned Houston had a gay mayor once, and it's actually interesting. So Jax is talking about Anise Parker, and Anise Parker was actually, so she was at that time, Houston became the largest city ever to have an openly gay individual to serve as mayor. So yeah, I mean it's really, really cool to see. And I know Anise Parker had she was running for another seat earlier this year, did not win. But I mean that was a huge deal, and I think that at the end of the day that really shows a lot, especially what Jack was saying about in years past where they struggled to get mayors out there, and then Houston eventually had a gay. Let me see. Jack says, I'm going to check the flock cameras for your short shorts. Jax, all I gotta say is I hope you like what you see.
And shout out to the city for actually rescheduling it. You know, it was supposed to be in June and it's now August. And shout out to the city for actually doing it again, doing it the right way.
Doing it the right way. And you know what's crazy too is, so next weekend, the city of Austin is when they have their Pride Parade. and festival, but theirs is already normally scheduled in August.
Oh, okay.
So they're already normally scheduled in August. Dallas had theirs the beginning of June, which is normal for them. One of the other things I've always found interesting, especially being in the hot Houston climate, is a few years ago I lived in Phoenix, and as we know, Phoenix is also a very hot city, and they used to have theirs in April, and I think they maybe moved it to like October, November, something like that after the pandemic. But I was always so appreciative of having it in the off times of the year, although it wasn't during Pride Month, but just because it's so damn hot
The weather,
outside.
yes. I
Yes.
understand. Because being
So,
out there in this heat, this humidity, woof.
it is
Stank.
hot, stink.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if they make enough aluminum deodorant to cover up all the stink in the city with that.
Right.
All right, well, let's go ahead and shift on to some other news. So earlier today, I ended up interviewing Dietrich Von Biedenfeld, talking about mail ballot ruling from the federal appeals and how it's going to impact voters. All right, everybody, it's Friday, so we know what that means. Dietrich is back in the house tonight to talk with us about whatever we throw his way. Dietrich, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely. So the big story that we're going to be talking about tonight is really talking about the federal appeals court and restoring the Texas mail ballot ID requirements. What does this even mean? Kind of take me past the headlines. What does this mean for the average person here in Texas?
For the average person, this means that your mail-in ballot, and recognize that Texas has the largest population of veterans under 60 of any state in the U.S. So we have a number of individuals who are potentially deployed with their spouses, with their potentially of age children. We've expanded healthcare up to age 26 now. So you've got a number of individuals who could be overseas, could be out of state. Maybe they're doing a temporary deployment in North Carolina for training or California. And those individuals want to cast their ballot for their home districts in Texas, and they want to mail it in, and now they want to add their social security number, or they want to add other personally identifying metrics that typically we're told in our IT security training not to add, right? Don't include your social security number. Don't include your date of birth. Don't include this personally identifying information. These PIIs are very dangerous, but put them in the mail with USPS, which has this fantastic reputation for reliability. They're not Kevin Costner in The Postman. They don't really go in the snow or the rain, or sometimes even in the sunshine. So we know that there's this contrast and this conflict between the idea of what USPS can actually handle. And again, I'm not going to go on this digression or rabbit trail of how the integration of USPS data with ICE and CPB data was going to potentially be fulfilled with no one having technological aptitude to handle this, and no infrastructure of technology, training, or personnel to actually make it happen. But this federal idea of integrating these restrictions on voting through mail-in ballots was never going to be a reality, and I'm going to come back to that in a second. But the reality is this idea could cause an undue burden on individuals to produce identifying information. It could delay voting results as people attempt to validate ballots. Okay, I'm going to cast provisional. Guess what? Maybe we're going to hold that ballot. It was not unexpected. The Fifth Circuit is very conservative. They want to defer to the state's rights. And so their overruling of this district court, which they've done many times, Judge Oldham pointed out how many times this district court has come to the Fifth Circuit Appellate District and said, can we do this? And the Appellate District has said, what are you thinking? Right? So just like the U.S. Supreme Court, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, this is the most overturned district. If you take it there and they agree with you, probably it's going to get overturned by the Supreme Court. Same thing here. This district court, most likely to get overturned by the Fifth Circuit. And so coming back again, though, this is interesting because this very conservatively appointed appellate court is now actually undermining President Trump's case for federal interference in elections because it has reaffirmed the state's preeminence in this area. So there are a lot of conflicting areas. It's fascinating, interesting for lawyers especially to say, wait a second, this conservative district has now affirmed states' rights, but then countered President Trump in this ruling that says, yes, the state of Texas can impose restrictive requirements on voting access. Again, for the average Texas voter who may cast their ballot in person. A lot of our Texas voters, particularly our older voters, love to cast it on November 4th, right? They want to be on election day. That's beautiful. It doesn't really impact them as much. But we have a large contingent of veterans, veteran spouses, and veterans' children who are eligible to vote who could be disenfranchised by this action.
Gotcha. So I guess since like when it comes to the veterans and everything like that, explain to me how they could be disenfranchised when it comes to this decision.
Well, the first thing is the intentional, conscious, individual choice to say, I do not feel comfortable placing this PII in this personal identifying information in a mail-in ballot. I don't want to put my Social Security in there. Identity theft is rampant. I don't want to put my date of birth in here. I don't want to put proof of citizenship, such as a copy of my passport, in something that can be tampered with. It's very easy to unseal mail and reseal it. So ask anybody at the State Department. Pardon me, the CIA, because the State Department doesn't do that. But ask anybody. It's very easy to get this information. And now military people who are trained in this security and punished if they have a cell phone on an aircraft carrier that then pings and provides that GPS data to potential enemy combatants. Now you're telling me, don't use your cell phone, don't get satellite coverage for your TV in the Persian Gulf, but do provide all of this information through an unsecured channel in the physical universe. It's very conflicting. We're trained not to do that. They are trained not to do that. And so at the end of the day, I think that's the first tier of disenfranchised voters. The second tier is individuals who write their sevens like I do. And suddenly that's misconstrued as a 3. And now it's cast aside because this Social Security number doesn't exist. This is an invalid citizenship. And you're like, well, that's my handwriting. Yeah. Okay, now we make it digital. Well, yes, but maybe there's a space between your last name. I don't know anybody with the Von Unzu title, but if you happen to be a Von Biedenfeld or a Von Unzu, then maybe now, and particularly in the Latin American culture, and we do have a high contingent of Hispanic and Latino members of our community who serve in the military, and they have 4 names. And so now suddenly the space or the hyphen causes some rejection of the ballot, and now they're disenfranchised. So again, there's the intentional, which is my security training says that I cannot provide this information through an unsecured channel such as the mail. And then you also have the unintentional where I've provided this information with the trust that you are going to secure it, but you don't recognize my hyphen, my space, my third name, my mother's maiden name, et cetera, in this ballot. So, and those are just 2 very broad categories that I think will capture a high percentage of individuals whose ballots may be rejected while they are serving the United States of America in states outside of their own or in foreign environments.
You know, and that's really interesting to think about too, because it's just interesting for me to think about, like trying to put that into my thought process when it comes down to things, because it's like, you're right. I don't want to ever put pictures of my ID or X, Y, and Z, my personal information, through snail mail or anything for that matter. So no, I think that's really interesting. And this was a 5-year battle too, wasn't it? For them to come with a decision for this?
Absolutely. And the appellate courts are notoriously backed up. And so this is another area where, rather than allowing the district court ruling to stand, we have seen deference to President Trump's push to have these ideas adjudicated or ruled on more quickly. But again, long term, this is going to be a cornerstone of an argument against federal involvement in elections, which President Trump has advocated for, because it's reinforcing the state's preeminent role in this process. So it's a fascinating contrast and sort of almost contradictory outcome when you think about how these individuals are going to pursue their claims in the future, because you're going to have people who are left-leaning and right-leaning having to switch sides on the aisle to reach their outcomes with this outcome. But it's not unexpected. Again, a lot of these outcomes that we're seeing are going to be controversial over the next few years, but they're not going to be unexpected when we think about economics. We understand that there are a lot of fundamental principles in economics that are going to be naturally occurring outcomes. even if we don't like them. Similarly, in politics, we're going to say the majority rules, even if we know that the majority of people are below the median, right? So, I mean, whether it be educational informant, IQ, EQ, whatever it is, the median is there, and then almost 50% are going to be below that expectation. And so we're just going to have to deal with whatever those outcomes are.
Gotcha. Well, as always, I appreciate you giving me your insight and your knowledge when it comes to everything. And the other thing, too, is I really want to see what your 7 looks like if it looks that close to a 3.
Deutschland, Deutschland. I won't finish the rest of the anthem. So, yes.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Dietrich. Have a great weekend. And I appreciate you being with us again for Isaiah Factor Uncensored Primetime Live.
Thank you for having me, Matt.
Most definitely. All I have to say is this entire title is a tongue twister. And you want to know how many times I've almost said Isaiah Factor Uncensored Primetime Live? And I know that was my doing, but whatever.
We're going to have to shorten that.
We're just going to be like, we're just going to call it Primetime Live. No, I'm just kidding. Isaiah will be kicking our butts. No, Dietrich is always great. I love having Dietrich on. He's always a great political analyst that we have for the show. And
yes,
so very interesting, especially with the midterms coming up. November. How many months away is that from now? September, October, 3 months from now. So it's crazy. It's getting here. All right. Keyshawn.
What's up?
This next story. As we know, this is the Factor Uncensored.
Uncensored. Keyword uncensored.
Uncensored. So we have a story for you outside of San Diego where a woman sues Dollar Tree over alleged gooning sexual assault. Let's go and take a listen to it.
Okay.
Sexual assault. And according to the lawsuit, law enforcement agencies have seen an increase in similar cases to this one across the country. Our Dominique Lavigny spoke with the woman's lawyers and brings us her story.
This Dollar Tree in Claremont is at the center of allegedly repeated sexual assault incidents called gooning.
This is an incredibly degrading and humiliating act to have done to you.
According to the civil lawsuit detailing the incident, a man followed Jane Doe around the Dollar Tree on March 2nd, 2025.
She did notice that he was following her a little bit from aisle to aisle, but not overly obviously.
Clemency Condry, an associate attorney on the case, says as the man passed her client in the stationery aisle, he looked unsuspecting, well-groomed, and carrying a basket of items.
He then walked behind her, positioned himself behind her, and then wiped something, touched her backside, like buttocks, lower back area.
That's when she confronted the man.
So he, I think, apologized after he bumped into her. She said, "Did you just wipe something on me?"
He denied any wrongdoing and left the store.
Later, she realized it was sticky and realized it was semen.
Jane Doe reported the incident to staff who took photos, but the store manager could not provide security camera footage because the cameras didn't work.
They're not common, but we have seen cases like this before.
San Diego police confirmed officers arrested the suspect, 22-year-old Noe Gonzalez Crescencio.
He was arrested for lewd and lascivious acts, 2 counts of that, and 2 counts of sexual battery.
Through posts online, Jane Doe learned that Gonzalez Crescencio allegedly assaulted 2 other women within the same week at the same store. And according to the lawsuit, sexual assault cases like this are increasing nationwide as videos of these assaults circulate online, fueling a viral trend called the Dollar Tree Gooner.
We saw it as an isolated, bizarre incident, but as I started doing a lot more digging, we realized that it's a phenomenon at this point.
According to the complaint, since 2024, at least 11 women reported similar sexual assaults by men at Dollar Tree stores in several major cities. In a statement, a Dollar Tree company spokesperson says in part, quote, "We take reports of inappropriate, unlawful, or harassing behavior in our stores extremely seriously. Any incident of this nature is unacceptable, and when we become aware of criminal activity, we cooperate fully with law enforcement and support their investigations." End quote. But the complaint alleges chronic understaffing and absent or fake security cameras make its stores a, quote, hunting ground for sexual predators.
Women were being targeted in their stores across the country.
Condry says that's left lasting effects on her client.
Normal daily errands is tricky for her because this is when this happened. She feels like she needs people to go with her to do these normal errands.
And they hope this case helps protect other shoppers.
Well, more than anything, our client and us, we don't want this to happen to another woman.
The law firm encourages any other person with this experience to come forward. They also named the Diane Village Claremont Mesa Shopping Center as a defendant in this case. I reached out to the shopping center's attorneys for comment, but I did not hear back. And you can read the Dollar Tree's full statement on our website. Just click the Scene On tab. Reporting in Claremont, I'm Dominique Lavigny. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, that's a wild story.
Oh yes, very wild.
They use the word trend, but I just want everyone to know that that is sexual assault. That is, it's not a, it's
not
hard.
something that's cute. It's not
Yeah,
something
it's not cute. It's not funny.
No.
It's actually disgusting. And but the question is, they're suing Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Yeah, neither am I. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's really disturbing. And and even looking at some of the comments too, I mean, so let's see. Sassy said, okay, I've heard this before, and hell nah, ass whooping time.
You're right, Sassy.
Yes,
we
Sassy,
whooping ass. Let's whoop
right.
ass together.
Exactly. Exactly. And Clever Girl reads, by the way, hey, Clever Girl, how you doing? Said, thank goodness they got him. Males are not okay right now. Facts. So yeah, it's I mean, it's just crazy because I mean, at the end of the day, it's like,
where are you safe? Where can you be safe? You go to Dollar Tree and you're getting harassed and assaulted. And that is actually disgusting. That's it's nasty.
It's
It is
very
nasty.
See, maybe they need those flock
and
cameras.
you don't know who this person is, what they have.
Yep. Maybe they need those flock cameras in front of the Dollar Trees if that's the case.
Yeah, according to some reports, the Dollar Tree didn't even have cameras working.
That's insane.
And I guess that's why there's a lawsuit, because when you go in these stores, you expect to be protected by like maybe
security cameras,
security guard, a security camera. They didn't know what happened because they didn't have any working security cameras.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I hear that he went back to the place several times and did the same thing.
It's crazy. Yeah, and Sassy said, no, far from cute. He wanted to made it out of that store. And Clever Girl says they should be sued. Dollar Tree has to provide a certain level of security for their customers. And the thing that's really interesting, and I think that Fox 5 San Diego did a good job reporting the story, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen when it comes to with the lawsuit. I mean, is it going to be something where Dollar Tree, where they just come to an agreement and they just pay off the people just to be done with it, or is it going to actually go to trial? Or I'm just curious to see what's going to happen at the end of the day.
I'm guessing it may be a hard lawsuit for Dollar. Well, it may be a hard lawsuit in general because, you have to prove that Dollar Tree is liable for this assault and not the perpetrator. Because I don't think I don't know if the perpetrator was named, but it seemed like Dollar Tree was named in this. Maybe it's a civil lawsuit. Yeah. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I don't know. But you expect to go to the store to be safe and not be assaulted. When you go to the store, you assume that all the cameras are working, even if it's Dollar Tree, right? Or Dollar Tree.
For sure. I mean, but let's be real. We also assume a lot of things in life that would be common sense that just don't happen in the first place, too. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. It is insane. People are sick. And if anybody's trying to do that, they need to go get checked out for their mental.
But when we brought this up yesterday in our meeting, I'd never heard of this Gooning thing. Or maybe I did hear about it, but I didn't think it was like a trend. I didn't think people were actually doing that in stores. But some members on our team said that they heard of this before. They're aware of it.
Well, I mean,
I've heard of this, right?
I've heard of it, but I didn't think it was something where people were going into Dollar Tree and doing some nastiness like that. I thought it was something different. I mean, obviously in a sexual way, but not something that negatively impacted somebody else in a sexual assault way.
Yeah, that's what I thought it would be.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. People are a hot mess. Homie seeing Sassy said, but has he been in there more than a couple of times? The clerks have to recognize him. You would think so. You would think so. But I mean, who knows? At the end of the day, I'm like, how many times though? I mean, let's be real. There's quite a few Dollar Trees around in a lot of communities and stuff like that. So it's just, and I don't know. Yeah, you would think that people would know.
All right, let's wrap this up, y'all.
Let's wrap it up. So it's Friday. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. Keyshawn, smile. I'm gonna take a picture. All right, perfect. All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great, safe weekend. Please make sure, again, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you could watch us Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Central Time. We hope everybody has a safe weekend and hope that everybody.
This weekend. And if you're going to the Pride Parade, hydrate. Bring an umbrella.
Bring
some electrolytes. Do something.
Yes.
All right.
All right, everybody. I'll see y'all.
See y'all.